Good morning or good evening, wherever you're located in the world. Welcome to the third episode of Passionate Living with Phenie and Poh. I'm really excited about today's topic, which is how do you overcome obstacles towards passionate living? How are you doing, Phenie? How are you doing on your end of the world?
I am doing great. Great, great, great. Thanks for asking. Over here yes, I'm in New York this time around. So here I am.
Yep,
I'm doing fine.
excited.
Yes.
Now, overcoming obstacles. I think you and I are experts in this field, considering the amount of obstacles. I'm sure everybody out there as well has had a lot of obstacles they've had to overcome. I know this year in particular, I think the biggest one for me is I think it's come down to trusting in myself because I think going down this entrepreneurial path, going through this dream path, you can kind of get lost in just following what everybody else is doing. It doesn't matter whether it's a dream or a 9 to 5 job, it's just so easy to get caught up in what everyone else is doing and by default saying, they're more of the experts. They know what they're doing. In fact, a lot of people are doing it that way. So maybe I should follow too. Like, what do I know? But the thing is, what do you know? You know everything because, in my opinion, how you feel on the inside, your intuition, what your gut is telling you, is something no expert out there can possibly have access to. What do you think, Fanny?
I agree with you 100%. We are just strongly conditioned to follow. That's the whole purpose of schooling from very young. I mean, you've heard the various stories that they give about school and how we came out from being agricultural people having families and everything was in-house. So you built your home yourself. You had to be knowledgeable enough and trust yourself enough to build for yourself, right? You sewed your own clothes, you grew your own food. You were entrepreneurs naturally back then. This is the agricultural age. I think that's the proper age you call it. So you trusted yourself and you knew those things. Then as time when the industrial age came, then it was okay, let's get people out of the house and into the factories. And all of a sudden, I understood it was trading of goods and stuff like that. So you become more specialized. So then you have the blacksmith making all the blacksmith stuff. You have the shoemaker doing all the shoemaker stuff. And so you start to go to people who are specialized in certain things. The point I'm giving this long, drawn out story is that we moved away from being self reliant, self-contained, and then you had to program the people to work with other people, work for somebody else, and you had to train them to follow. That was the whole thing. So when you step out into the entrepreneur path and you're just following everybody else, that's just by habit. I think it's by habit. And even though deep down inside, you're not even taught to follow your gut. So what are we supposed to do? It's only natural to follow. We need to follow when to sit, when to stand, what to learn, how to learn it. Ask, may I? So I know I just went way off the topic, but I'm bringing it back. Yeah, as you were saying earlier, you believe everybody else knows more than you do, even though you get a gut sense and an idea, you don't follow it because you don't feel strong enough in what you are aiming to do. My point in all of this is that it's natural for us to want to follow people because we've been conditioned our whole entire life to do so. So, how do we circumvent that? That's the question, especially at this time when life is changing so much and inadvertently we have to become self reliant. Did that help any?
Self-reliant, yes, to a certain degree, but don't you think, okay, especially in our scenario, this can be an entrepreneurial path, or it could be, let's say you have a particular interest as part of your passionate living. It could be sewing, knitting, a sport, or something like that. Don't you think that having fellow like-minded people that you're working with helps? Because I know I count my blessings for meeting you, because
Same
right
here,
off
same
the
here.
cuff, I knew we had a synergy. We knew that we both shared the same vision about wanting to uplift others, to go after their heart's desire, and yeah, pretty much going outside of the norm. Don't you think?
I think so. It is good to have like-minded people around you, but I have come to learn that like-minded people can have different convictions just amongst each other. We've already been through that. We could all have the same goal in mind, but how we reach that goal, the way we reach it, it might not be the same. We may have the goal to be entrepreneurs, to live life, carve life out on our own terms. And you meet somebody else like that, and you come to find out that, yes, that's the same goal, but they don't go about it the same way. How they go about it may be against, I'm not going to say against, scratch that. It may be totally different from how you want to do it on an emotional level, on an energetic level. Now, it is great to have like-minded people, but here's the thing, in having like-minded people and going along with them, I look at it this way. You all need to be going in the same direction on so many aspects other than, oh, we want to do this in life. Oh, I want to live a passionate life. Okay, what does that mean? I want to live life on my own terms. I want to enjoy every day. I want to be happy. I want to be comfortable in my skin. That's fine, cool, and dandy. But the people who you are running with who also want that, the question is, in choosing to run with them, is choosing to run with them violating who you are? That's the bigger question, because when you violate who you are, you're not really going to get anywhere. So running around with the folks running around with the folks that you like and have like-mindedness, you all should be running in that direction. That feels good to you. Once you feel that you are,
Essentially, find your tribe.
huh? Yes.
Find your tribe that not only has the same vision and goal, but you gel. You gel in how you do it. And yes, there's no point having the same goal and mission, but feeling like you're fraudulent and you're basically losing your sense of self. I mean, that's pretty pointless.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel good. And passionately losing yourself is not a good thing. Not a good thing.
Yes, agreed.
Uh-huh.
We're
I
about
think that's,
passionate living, not losing.
yeah, passionate living, not losing. A lot of people, we just don't know. I think we naturally are equipped to do it. I've come to realize something, Poke, as we sit down and we talk about passionate living. Like today, I just had this aha moment that a lot of times your passionate living may not appear how you thought it should appear. And it's just strange how deep life is and how many layers. Just because it doesn't appear that way doesn't mean it's not going to feel good. I'm trying to get away of the supposed to, because supposed to can get us into a lot of trouble. It's still supposed to, I said it again. It's to feel good. Anything that feels good that you're doing that's not harming anyone is the right path, right way to go. That's what I think.
So I think a lot of the obstacles for people, the common one, and I know it was for me and I know it was for you too, is yes, it's fine and dandy, you know, to have all these passions and goals. And it would be nice if you could do it a lot of the time, but there's a lot of fear that kind of sets in, like, what are people gonna think of me? What happens if I go bankrupt in the whole process? You know, all these things come to mind. It's usually a fear of what other people think, and frankly, here a lot of people have uh, money woes as well. And to be honest with you, it would be a blatant lie if I said the path of going towards passionate living in your dreams is going to be easy, because frankly, it's not easy, because you got to confront yourself, and that's the hardest thing. And if we've been on this planet for, well, a lot of us for many years, and you're gonna have a lot of baggage. And if you have a lot of baggage, think about the layers of the onion you're gonna have to peel away to become more and more of the real you. But the thing is, fear is there to be overcome. So my suggestion is finding that strength to just face it, to confront it. Because for me, I knew I had to confront my fear of, even being in front of the camera, having my life being online. That was a huge thing for me. But I knew I had to do it, because at the end of the day, I have to look myself in the mirror and know that I've done everything possible to live a very positive and the best possible life I could have. What are your thoughts on that, Phenie?
You summed it up perfectly. Um, I have gotten sensitive to feeling not good. And I say that in the sense that you're doing things because the question of what is there to life besides just surviving? Isn't there like a bigger purpose? Isn't there for a more fulfilling reason? And yes, again, you're conditioned a lot to believe and to follow what everybody else is doing or what everybody else will think. You're conditioned that if you're not following everybody else, something is wrong. After a while, like for me, I had to, that feeling of I am not doing what I came here to do. Mind you, a lot of us don't even know what we came here to do, but we know what we're currently doing right now in life. I don't care what it is. Whatever you're doing in all aspects of life, it does not feel good or it does not fit. Some people might not understand it doesn't feel good. It does not fit. If you pay attention to that feeling, I'm speaking for myself. When I paid attention to that feeling, I became very aware of it. So whenever I got that feeling, a sort of discomfort started to settle in for me. And once it settled in, it was like, how do I get ease? How do I get relief? And then I started to realize you get relief when you just follow what it is that you like. I'm putting it now in everyday terms. We have a choice. We have a choice. Some people are like, I don't like where I live. I don't like my job. I don't like, oh, I have dreams to do this. I have dreams to do that. You start doing these things little by little by little. And when you get that discomfort is going to seem so large that next thing you know, you're finding that you're taking little baby steps into the direction of how you want to carve out your life. That's how I am doing it, and that's how I did it. We both did it that way. We were doing for the sake of doing, because to be honest, a lot of us, we're just living a life of just getting results. I got up this morning, I went to work, I came back, now I have money to pay my bills. I am rearing my kids. I have a family. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm doing what I was told I'm supposed to do, so I'm going to do it. And we just live that way. And sometimes we just get this feeling like, is there more? What can I do? What you can do is be yourself. And part of being yourself is acknowledging what is a good fit for you in life and what is not a good fit, and making the changes. That's our responsibility.
Yep, I absolutely agree with you there, Fanny. And just out of curiosity, what would you say for you personally has been one of the biggest obstacle or fear that you've had to overcome?
Who? Now, I have my own baggage of where I am supposed to be, culturally. Where am I supposed to be? And this was a totally different path for me. I decided one day that I wanted to be of service and be of service in my own way. That is a good fit for me. And I embarked upon this journey to get there. I had no idea it would require me to get in front of the camera. I had no idea it would require me to write a lot. I had no idea that people would see, even though it's funny, I wanted it to be in theory, but theory and living it is two different things. I had no idea that being in front of the camera would chronicle my stages, my journeys, my mistakes, my triumphs, my blessings. Had no idea. Sometimes I put out things and I'm like, it's the best for where I am right now, but it's not the best based on what I perceived in theory of how it was going to be or how I want it to be. And I have to be okay with it. My biggest fear is it was social media. I was not a strong Facebooker. I didn't know anything but no Google Hangout. I didn't know anything about, oh, you're going to put up YouTube videos. And now I'm just putting up YouTube videos and look, we're doing, and it's funny, that's how we met because we both were kind of like timid, like, what are we doing? That's my biggest fear. But yet we're still here, right?
Yeah, we're still here. It's so ironic, isn't it? Because both you and I in our usual life, we don't really go on social media. And then it's funny, life is definitely deep. Life gives you what you need. And I think for us, we feared the limelight so much that being in the limelight was probably the most important thing to happen to us because we don't crave it. Definitely don't crave it, but it's definitely something we need to be able to open ourselves up and have a lot more confidence in ourselves. And yeah, I definitely know for me, for sure, that believing in myself and having the confidence to, listen to what my gut is saying has been a huge thing for me, because I think this year in particular, I started to realize that I placed a lot of weight on what others thought. I placed a lot of weight on what other people's knowledge or expertise was compared to mine. And I definitely saw that as a lot stronger than just listening to my gut. And yeah, a lot of the time going outside for answers, it just didn't feel so good. So yeah, I'm definitely done with the days of not feeling so good about what you're doing. It just, just doesn't completely resonate. So yeah, it's a biggie. It's a biggie, isn't it, Fanny? Overcoming fears, but it's definitely possible, and you've got to want to. It's so easy to kind of be stuck in a complacent place of just churning out a lot of work. I know for me, one of my fortes is I can do a lot of work in a short period of time, but what I realize is you can't confuse activity with accomplishment. And churning out stuff and getting results does not mean you're going to feel fulfilled. It doesn't mean you're going to be satisfied. And I think if you haven't found your why, your overarching purpose, your vision, and let that direct your action, yeah, I think that's where things start to go pear-shaped. What do you think?
Yeah. Then again, people have to be deep enough or aware enough of what's happening in their, I'm gonna say, emotional body in order to make the decision. I am reading this book, and the guy, he was making tons and tons of money. And, people are like, why'd you quit your job? Why'd you quit your job? He said, it didn't feel fulfilling. I'm going to use an example like Seinfeld. I didn't even watch any of his series or comedy, or it was a sitcom, right? Yes, I didn't watch any of that, but I remember reading, this is so long ago, reading how he wanted to I'm gonna say resign, because he got tired. He was like, you're making $1 million an episode, the joy, the fulfillment, the passion is gone. And I think when we follow the passion and we follow the fulfillment, a lot of things come into place. I so strongly believe that now. It's just a feeling that I have. You have to follow. We come here already set. We are inclined to certain things for a reason. Why were we given that? Why were we given that? It's just some of us have to be brave enough to step out there and do it. That's basically what I think. You and I, we're facing our fears, but look who we're becoming. It's the journey. People say, oh, the journey, the journey. I just want to get to the destination. And I mean, I have touted that statement over and over again, but I'm looking at us now and I'm like, buoyed. Look how far we've come. Look how far we have come. And yes, we were following everybody else and we needed to, because we had to learn some skills. But then as soon as we gained those skills, look at us now, and we're telling everybody we're fearful. But anybody watching us, they'll say, okay, well, I can understand being a little squeamish or a little nervous a little bit, but they're doing pretty much okay, because we keep at it. You cannot obtain anything that you want, I don't care what it is, with, I'm gonna say, physical ease. Things are just not going to fall into your lap just like that. You're going to have to work at it, especially if you're way off the mark. There's going to be a learning curve in accepting that you are uncomfortable and you have to do something about it. There's a learning curve in the skill that you're going to have to pick up. There's a learning curve in life and even the friends and people you keep around you, because everybody's living like everybody else. Life is deep. That's just it. Life is just so deep.
You got that right. And it's kind of funny because at the end of the day, because if you dare to step out of following everybody else, what do you have to anchor you but yourself? That's the funny thing, huh? Because if everyone else is doing this and they're kind of looking at you like, what the hell are you doing? Your conviction needs to be strong and your sense of who you are needs to be strong, although that's always a work in progress. And yeah, you've at some point got to start listening to you and trusting in your inner self, because otherwise none of this works. Because as we found, it doesn't matter if you're going on your dream path or not. You so easily can fall back into old habits of just doing what everyone else does, because that's just a conditioned comfort that we're used to. And at some point you got to break away from it and yes, be willing bit by bit to be a better version of yourself. And yeah, that ain't easy, but like I said, find the right sorts of people, like you and I together, for
Mm-hmm.
example, that
Mm-hmm.
you're in a synergy with,
Mm-hmm.
you've got to have that. Because look, I said this to you like off camera. I know going down the entrepreneurial path the way we would like to do it, passion based, that certainly was not going to happen. And I don't know if by ourselves, well, I know for me, I reckon I could have easily slipped back to the old ways of following everybody else if I did not find a fellow kindred spirit. I just have to put it out there. I think
Um,
it's true.
I I'm gonna agree with you 100%. I think, like, let's say you have, or there's people out there who don't have our kind of connection yet. So what did we even do to get here? If everyone's around you is not supportive of what it is that you're doing, be happy that they're not supposed to. Because, and I know that's hard to say, because they are an indicator of where you used to be if you find that you're going in the total opposite direction. Today we have so many options. I know for me, I know for you, we did a lot of personal development. We invested time, money, and you don't even have to invest money. You can invest time, it depends. You're investing in yourself, period. We listen to audio tapes, we read books. There's free PDFs online. We read things. We got engaged in things, not got engaged, but engaged in things that buoyed up our feelings, our mentality, our goals, our dreams. If you are into sewing, if you are into knitting, if you're into writing, you need to start looking for places where you can be fed that. When you feed that, that in turn feeds what? It feels that sense that you're doing something passionate. If you want to start a business for homeless, or for the homeless, or even if you don't even want to start a business, let's just say you just want to help the homeless. You go out, you help the homeless, you start in soup kitchens, then you find ways around that, other ways you can volunteer. You keep doing these things that feed you, nourish you from a soul point vantage. After a while, it will become very easy to identify when you are in ease and out of ease. Then you're going to try to extend that. You're going to try to scale it out. But backing out, as I was saying earlier, if you are with a group of people and they don't agree with what you're doing and you're looking to live the passionate life, engage in the things that make you come alive. And you're going to have to feed your mind, because your whole life you have been trained to do something different. You have been trained to ignore it. You have been trained to just keep going and just stick to physical results and physical actions. You keep feeding that, that is going to hold you as a placeholder in the meantime, until you find or hook up with like-minded people to then go down your passionate journey or your passionate path with others. Because that's what we did. I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, and I look, we were living parallel lives, and I'm like, wait, hold up. She did XYZ, I did XYZ, and when we met up, we were like, hey, I was doing this over here, and she's like, I was doing that over here, and look how these line up and look how these match. But in the meantime, we were working on ourselves. We were working on our dreams, even if it's energetically, even if it is personally. You still owe it to yourself to do that, because that is, I'm repeating myself, that is the placeholder until you hook up with those people that you need to hook up with. You just got to believe it and keep going. Part of believing in yourself is to keep going, to keep going, to keep going. And if you're doing and it's not passion based, but you're aware it's not passion based, keep doing, because eventually you will get sick of it and you'll figure a way out. That's it.
Wow, that was brilliant. That was brilliantly said. I couldn't have said it better. Because we're energetic beings. At the end of the day, you're right. When you start feeding your mind, yes, through personal development, audios, books, etc., you are changing your energy. You are rewiring your mind, reprogramming your mind in a way that's a lot more congruent to meeting the person that is a natural fit. But you're right. you also are changing your energy and working on yourself energetically by just going out there and just doing the stuff that you love and feels good. I mean, when I think about my life, every step of the way in the journey, I've always met the right people at the right time for that particular journey, whether it be the fun friends to bring out the life, out of me, for example, or, the serious friends to really ground me, and also meeting the more like-minded entrepreneurial friends. That happened too. And then, yes, for me, the bonus has been meeting you. Someone has gone down a parallel path and is very much a kindred spirit in the way we see our future and our passion and dreams. So very grateful for that. So
here.
We're very blessed, my friend. We're very blessed.
Yes, we are.
So on that lovely note, I would like to wrap up. We're taking a 2-week break because next week, around this time, I will be flying over to Canada. So yeah, in 2 weeks' time, we will be back. So in closing, if you would like to find out more about living a passion-based life, we have our blogs. Mine is www.becomingpolin.com. And yours, Phenie?
Is www.snatchingmydreamsback.com.
Thanks for joining us, guys. See you in a fortnight's time. Bye for now.
Bye.